All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and this is your weekly Zur PSA. He's located on Nessus in Watcher's Grave in the usual spot, and he actually has some really good God rolled weapons and armor, so make sure you go visit Zur this week. First up, we have the Graviton Lance. Now, this is an exotic pulse rifle. It's currently pretty terrible in the game, so you can skip this one. Next up, we do have the Oathkeeper, which is a part of the Forbidden build that I've talked about, where you use a bow and then you quick swap to a hand cannon using quick draw or mods on your armor. And so using this on your hunter is extremely OP, and this is a really, really good roll this week. 63 stats with 17 recovery, 10 mobility, and 16 strength is great. So definitely grab these Oathkeepers for your hunter, especially if you want to use the Forbidden combo. Next up, we have Ursa Furiosa, which is the strongest Titan exotic armor piece for this week's Grandmaster. The Exodus Crash, you want to use the Ursas with your Titans to block and farm up orbs, so that way your Warlock can get more wells. You can chain farm super, so that way you can actually handle all those different immunity phases from the boss Thavix. So I would highly recommend grabbing this or using this if you don't have it already. However, if you do have it, this roll is pretty terrible with 21 mobility, so you can definitely skip that one. Next up, we have Lunafaction Boots, and these are really, really good still. Rifts increase weapon reload speed, Empowering Rift increase range. These are like an absolute necessity for fighting some raid boss, like Deepstone Crypt raid boss and other things as well. So definitely grab these for your Warlock if you don't already have them. They're not the best roll ever, but they're not the worst either. So very, very strong exotics all across the board for all three characters. In terms of weapons, I'm going to go over which ones are good and which ones are terrible. This is a pretty bad Dire Promise. There's no use for this PvP or PvE. Same thing with this Last Perdition. No use PvP or PvE. And this Cold Denial as well, pretty bad. This main ingredient is not too bad. High Impact Reserves will proc regularly in PvP when you only have those 2 bullets when you spawn in. And Snapshot, maybe not necessarily the best, but not necessarily the worst perk either for Fusion. So an average main ingredient. Not nearly as good as the one you had a few weeks ago, though. We have an Icarus Sniper Rifle with Quick Draw 4 times the charm. You can definitely pass on that. And a Tireless Whirlwind Blade Temptations Hook. Not very good. But this bottom dollar is insane. Subsistence Explosive Payload. Make sure you grab this. This is extremely good. Look, Zer's even dancing as he's so excited for this thing to be here. Explosive Payload, the strongest perk on hand cannons, especially for stunning champions. And so it's going to be really, really good. And Subsistence, always a really good perk for PvE and a decent one for PvP. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a magazine perk, which would have been really OP with it. Subsistence proccing with the magazine perk gives you 2 bullets back in PvP. So not a true god roll per se for PvP, but for PvE, this is insane. And you will actually really like this, I promise. Next up, we have a 61 stat roll with really high strength gauntlets. That's really good. Grab those for your hunter. I'm on my hunter with the chest piece. We got 59, a little bit on the lower side, really low recovery. So you can skip the chest. Cloak is a cloak. Helmet is 64 with pretty even distribution, so that's great. And then a 65 stat roll, 60 mobility, 21 intellect. That's also a really great pair of boots for your hunter. I mean, the fact that you can just go and grab 60 plus stat armor pretty easily and effortlessly is awesome. The legendary shards make it pretty expensive though, but still is some good armor there. And a really good bottom dollar there. I would make sure to grab that and as many of these exotics as you can get if you're a new player. And that's a wrap on this Zur PSA. Make sure to subscribe with notifications on if you did enjoy. Smash the like button. See you in the next one. Later.